Hi, my name's Curtis. I live in Provo, Utah. I have been a professional woodworker for about 20 years and also a professional firefighter. Um, I first saw the SawStop and thought that it was a very fine tool. I saw the feature on it, safety feature, and thought, well, I need that saw. And unfortunately, I didn't buy it. I wanted to pay cash for it and not have any interest on a credit card for it, so I started to save up for it. At a point when I had about $600 saved up for that saw, I had an accident on the saw in my shop. Now I want people to know right now that I am safety conscious. I'm a professional firefighter, and it's pounded into us to be safe, and I've always tried to be safe in my shop. And I had an accident. I put the saw blade right through the palm of my hand, damaging my hand so severely that the little finger had to be amputated. Had went out and went shopping for some marble with my wife. She says, it'll only take an hour, and 6 hours later when I came back it was getting dark and I needed to get some OSB up on the house, and so I in a hurry just notched the corner out of a piece of OSB, and when I went to clear the waste piece out of the saw, I grabbed it in a hurry and to throw it into the waste bin, and it slipped out of my hand, and it was going directly down for the blade. In that fraction of a second, I saw that piece of board going into my eye, going into my skull. I could see myself brain damaged. So in that split second, I decided to try to follow the board down and knock it back off of the blade so it wouldn't kick back at me. And I almost made it. I bet only about a ½ inch to an inch of the board caught the back of the blade and shot through into my hip, but unfortunately my hand was on top of the board too, and my hand came across the full length of that blade, starting at my wrist and going right up through between my little finger and my ring finger, severing all the ligaments, tendons, and nerves to the little finger. It really wasn't repairable, so it was amputated. It was a painful recovery. I was back to work as a firefighter in 6 weeks, and you may not think that's a long time, but I pretty much kept telling the therapist, oh, it feels great, when it really hurt a lot. I just wanted to get back to work. And to this day, 4 years later, I still suffer with pain. Even though the little finger is gone, it still hurts at times. The nerves in my hand want to find that little finger, and it's not there, and it gets angry, and I have shots of pain through my hand even to this day. I ended up with about over $10,000 in hospital bills, and physical therapy. It took me about 8 weeks to come back from this accident. If I had opted to have the finger saved, it would have been 2 or 3 years before I would have went back to work. But I opted to have the little finger taken off. I look back at it now and think, wow, I wanted to save interest money on a credit card, and it ended up costing me over $10,000. I could have bought 2 or 3 SawStops with that money. I look back at it now and wish the day I saw that I had bought it. It was a painful recovery. It was an embarrassing recovery. I now have a nickname as the Niner in the fire department. That's my goal, is to save you the mental anguish, the physical pain, the financial constraints it may put upon you if you don't have insurance. If I can do that, then maybe I've even done more than I did as a fireman. I just want people to be safe. If you buy another saw and have an accident, you're going to be like me, wishing you'd bought that saw. I own that saw. Before I went back to work, woodworking professionally, I bought that saw. I can't afford to have another accident. I have another accident, lose another finger, I jeopardize my job as a firefighter. You just have to buy this saw.